Hey guys, what's going on? This is Nils at Idaho Pulse. So we're about to take you on a tour around Star, Idaho and kind of show you some of the areas, some of the neighborhoods, kind of talk about some of the nuances of living in both Star and just Idaho in general. So if you have any questions about the area or you want to know more, you can visit us at idahopulse.com or you can give us a call and we'd love to talk to you and give you some more information. So you know, we kind of experienced Idaho ourselves, and we have an experienced team of people that can help you if you have any questions, if you just need some advice or whatnot. So feel free to give us a call. Don't be shy, and let's go see Star, Idaho. Hey, what's up guys? So we're leaving Middleton here. So what you're looking at here on the video is us crossing Canada, which is this street on the left here, and we are entering Star. As you can see on the sign on the right hand side, the population sign is not entirely accurate, but that's because we're growing faster than they can make signs. So I think when I moved here, those signs read 5,000 people. So it's growing quite rapidly, and for good reason. It's a nice place to live. As I said, I mentioned I live here, and I've really enjoyed it. I was kind of looking for a place that was a little more relaxed, a little more small town feel, without being so far away from the city that you had to drive an hour to get to a Costco or a Walmart or a Target or a Home Depot or something. Nothing here is super close except for the few resources that we have here, which again is part of the charm of it. You're not going to have it all. You're not going to have a Home Depot down the street from you if you want to live kind of out away from everybody. It just doesn't work. So I feel like Star is a really good compromise of kind of having that small town. You see the American flags on the side here. We have a tremendous 4th of July parade every year. That was really cool to see this year. A lot of people. It's grown a lot over the years. So as we're driving through Star, we had Albertsons on the left-hand side. That's fairly new. That was built in February, finished in February, I should say, opened. We have a Napa auto parts store, so we do have an auto parts store in town. We have a Buy Mart on the right-hand side. There's a few of these around, so it's kind of an all-around everything kind of store. We have some neighborhoods on the left-hand side here, some older neighborhoods that have been here for a long time. Coming up on the right here, we have a gas station, the local Maverick. We also have a Chevron up there next to the Merc. And so the Merc is kind of one of the original stores here from Star. It's been here for a long time. They sell almost everything from hardware, lumber to they're the only liquor store actually in Star. So for those who don't know, Idaho has a law that only liquor can only be sold at a state-run liquor store, and so there's only so many per town. Star only has one, and that's here at the Merc. So we'll be coming up on that in a second here. So this is Star Road. This is one of the main roads that goes into Star and out of Star. So that's kind of one of the major roads that you can drive through. What we're on right now is actually called State Street. And this street actually goes all the way to Boise. So there's a lot of times that we kind of just take State Street all the way into Boise where we want to go. We don't even make a turn. The cities are kind of set up in a grid system, so it's kind of easy to follow. On the left-hand side, we have the Merc here. That's the liquor store for the town. They have kind of everything, like I was saying. We have a lot of the municipality stuff. We have the DMV, the police departments on the right-hand side here, all in one. We have our local hospital, urgent care, libraries on the left there. There's a few buildings that are being built here. This lot, I'm not sure what they might not have even sold this one actually. On the left here, they have a McDonald's going in, a couple other things, a little baby strip mall there. So as you can see, there's a lot of growth here. About 20 years ago or so, just talking to some of the locals that have been here for a long time, there was basically just a blinking stoplight in Star. There wasn't anything to stop for. It was just a real small town. If you blinked, you might miss it, kind of thing. Not a lot of traffic. Lately, there has been a lot more traffic here. State Street seems to be the main road that people kind of drive through if they're going from Boise to Eagle to Star to Middleton, that kind of thing. So a lot of traffic in the morning, a lot of traffic in the evening. Right now, it's about 11:30 right now on a Wednesday. So this is a little bit lighter traffic than you might typically anticipate if you were driving to work or driving home. So hopefully they're going to be able to alleviate that at some point. On the left-hand side, you have a little strip mall here. There's an ice cream place, an Asian food place called the Asian Walk. Bunch of little shops there. There's a little gun pawn store in there. And on the right-hand side, that is Ridley's and Ace, which is on Plummer. And then there's a housing community down there. So behind Ridley's, and then there's a lot of cornfields. A lot of those are being sold off, which is something you would expect, but as they get sold off, I think Star will lose a little bit of its charm, a little bit of its farm feel to it, but there's still a ton of farmland here. I'm going to drive around and show you guys a lot of the farm town that we have around here. A lot of the you'll just see it organically. I won't have to really point it out. So we're coming to the edge of Star, believe it or not. So we entered Star, what was that, 4 minutes ago, and so now we're almost exiting Star at this point. So just past these stoplights is the exit of Star. So as we turn left here, because if we went straight, we would definitely leave Star. There's a little sign saying "Come back soon." So if we take a left here on State Highway 16, this road goes north, and this road is going to go past Star, and then as you exit Star, you'll see signs for Emmett. There's actually one right there, so Emmett's 14 miles away. So as we go north on this road, this will dump us off in Emmett if we keep going on this road. So again, a lot of growth. We have this used to all just be farm country here. We have some irrigation canals here. This is how we get our water for our irrigation, and also the farmers, of course. That was what it was designed for originally. On the right-hand side, you'll see some new housing communities here going in. On the left as well, there's some new communities going in. So one thing about this area that's a little bit frustrating, I think, for me, and it's just something you would expect, I think, from an area that's growing so rapidly like Ada County is there is a lot of construction, and the construction's obvious, but what people don't think about sometimes, and I didn't think about this myself, is just the amount of not just congestion, but road traffic and road closures from construction. It's kind of like a game around here, trying to figure out which road's going to be open at what point. And you know, if you're going to work or you're taking the kids to school, it does become a little challenging. You know, because of how small this town was as of 5, 6, 7 years ago to now, it's become a little bit of a challenge because there's sometimes only one way in, one way out, or maybe 2 ways in, and so they block off one of the two, and you have to figure it out. Google doesn't tell you; it doesn't update fast enough. So one thing to keep in mind, you know, there will be some growing pains here, but honestly, even after all of the negatives, I still love living in Star. Star's a fantastic small town feel. Everybody waves at each other. It's just a nice place to raise your kids or retire. A lot of people are retired in my community that we live in. So as we're turning a left here on Beacon Light, this is kind of the northern end of Star. So on the left side, you'll see a nice green golf course. We do have a driving range here as well. Not a lot of houses here that are perched up on the golf course on the left-hand side. And some really nice communities to the right of us here. There's a lot of houses have some land. They've been here for several years. They're not brand new builds, but they're right on the golf course. On the left-hand side here, you'll see the driving range coming up. So this area leads to a lot of newer communities that are either just being finished or just being started a lot of times. So they've kind of cleared away the land. We've kind of watched them put the fences up, but a lot of times they haven't really broken ground. And so what we have here on the right side is a community going in, Cresta del Sol. On the left side looks like they're starting one as well. So if we take a right inside here, just to give a look at this one, this is Cresta del Sol. So this is just an example of a community that's just kind of being started. So we have some homes right here that are just being built. So as we can see here, we have some houses that are just kind of they're just sticks basically that's been framed. Got some siding on them now. So this is an example of what you'll see a lot inside Star on the northern end, especially. The northern end is kind of where they're building. One thing that I really do like about Star, I think, is besides the small town feel, because small towns oftentimes turn to big towns, there's not really a lot of space for growth here. I think that if you look at the map, just to the north of us here is the edge of Star, and while they can, you know, annex some of the areas over to Star, that probably won't happen a whole lot, maybe a little bit, but there's a lot of hills to the north of us, which isn't great for building houses in large communities. Kind of one-offs and selling land off and selling estates and stuff like that, maybe. But as far as building big, large communities like these here, it's not really ideal. So what you have to the north of that is a lot of BLM land. So that land will potentially never be built on, never sold. It's the land that, you know, anybody's going to be able to go on and do whatever they want, basically hunt. You can go drive your side-by-side, your dirt bike, go shooting, which we do go up there for that quite often. So as we continue down Beacon Light here, on the left-hand side, we have some houses being built as well. Kind of the same kind of thing. These are a little bit more spread out, a little bit more, maybe like an acre and a half lots. On the right-hand side, we have Greendale Grove, which is another community that's just coming soon. And these kind of line Beacon Light and New Hope. You'll see a lot of this. So as we continue to drive down past the community on the right, you're going to come across some new houses that they've already been built. I think most of them, if not all, have been sold at this point. another Glendale community here. So kind of drive through this one. This is a good example of a community that's only, you know, a short amount of time, maybe a year and a half. I'd have to look it up as far as the age goes, but very new community. Again, this was pretty much all farmland as a few years ago. So, but this is very typical of something you'll find in Star and even Meridian. So just to kind of give you an example. So as we're turning here, you can see these are the model homes right here. So they haven't been sold yet. We have on the right-hand side, left-hand side, just, you know, houses like normal. These are, you know, I don't remember the builder of these houses. Might be, it's not Hayden Homes. I can't remember. I'll have to go back and look. But this just gives you an idea of kind of what you can expect. Oh, there it is, Hubble Homes. Okay, so Hubble Homes is the builder for these. And a lot of times, most of these communities, you'll find there's one builder for a community, and then some communities, like our community that we live in, the developer actually sold off a lot of the land and a lot of the lots, and so you'll see kind of a mixture. They all kind of follow the same theme as far as the design of the house or whatnot. But if you know what you're looking for, I can personally spot builders just by looking at the little differences in how they built them, or the styles, or the floor plans. Typically, you know, the one floor plan will follow one builder and so on. But also just little things they do differently, little trim options. So just driving through here, just to kind of give you an idea, they all look very similar. In this community, the houses don't look very different. There's a few different floor plans. Some of the builders will actually give you, here's one for sale right here. Some of the builders will actually give you the option to customize little things here and there. You can add a loft upstairs, or, you know, there's options. You can't go wild usually, but they'll give you a few different options. So the nice thing is that, you know, not all the houses are cookie cutter exactly the same. So there's a lot of optioning that you can choose on a small level. And of course, not all the lots are the same size, so there's some limitations there. Some of them have a little better view, or some of them have a little bit more to choose from as far as space, or just the general shape. All right, so we're on Brandon, turning right onto Beacon and continuing down. So again, there's a lot of communities on the right-hand side, as you can see, and you can tell the difference between a house that's been here for a while, and there'll be some small farmhouse looking thing that's been in there for 40, 50, 60 years, perched up next to homes that are brand new, that are just densely packed together. And generally speaking, for the most part, that's just because that person sold off their land and they're just deciding to stay for a while. But you'll see a lot of this. You'll see anything from a small trailer type structure that's been around forever, that's really dilapidated and beat up. They've been here for forever, for 30, 40 years, next to a community of $1 million houses. And so that's not super uncommon in Star. You do see that in Meridian, you do see that in Boise, but Star seems like a dramatic example of it, just because of the nature of this being such a small farm town for so long, up until very recently. So this is another community that has houses that are just built recently in the last several years, all the way to, if you keep going this direction, you'll start getting into an area where it's still being built. So you'll see lots that haven't been really touched. Some of them are just breaking ground. Some of them have a structure just being built as of a couple months ago. So as we approach here, you'll see the left-hand side. This phase of it is mostly complete, if not all the way complete in some cases. And then on the right-hand side, we'll drive down there a little bit just to show this area is something that people can own very soon if they want. And this is Hayden Homes that are building these. And Hayden Homes is another very large builder that's in this community. So This one's kind of interesting. It has these large rock walls, kind of ornate, rough-looking rock walls, big boulders instead of small rocks. Just because of the grading that they did, they built these cool walls, which is nice. So this is what you'd see in your backyard. This one's already got a foundation poured here on the right, or left, I should say, sorry. And this is an example coming up here, I believe, of, or actually we passed it, I wasn't paying attention. So there's a house back there on the right-hand side, a red building. It looks like that was maybe the owner of all this land before, and then they sold it off, but they kept their property. So as you come up here, you can see the grading. We have, that's just a dead end up ahead. But as we turn down here now, these houses are actually built. So this phase over here is done. Everyone's kind of moved in, been here for a little bit. All right, and as we head onto Gladiola Street, these houses, as you can see, are different designs. So these have a very different feel to it than the ones that we just left. This is a little bit more modern, I think a little different build. This is something that's fairly common in Star, and you'll even see it in Meridian and new builds. We have kind of the modern RV garage type situation. The RV garages are very popular in Star. You'll see a lot of that. I think I've seen a lot more in Star than I've seen anywhere else. More than in Meridian from my experience. But in this community, as you can see, you know, a lot of the houses, I'd say maybe 50-50 here in this community. The ones on the left here all have RV garages. So the RV garages are popular because, first of all, a lot of people do like to do outdoor activities here, and so having an RV makes sense. Boats, a lot of people in Idaho like to have their toys, whether it's side-by-sides or dirt bikes or RVs or boats. So as you can see here on the left and the right here, we do have a lot of RV garages and just a lot of garages in general. For the most part, 3-car garages seem to be pretty standard here, if not 4-car and 5-car garages. So this house on the left is real nice. The colors, the big RV garage at the end, that's a pretty massive garage there. Same with these here. These are pretty good sized garages. So the RV garages are very popular. It's obviously not something that you have to have, but it's something that even if you don't have an RV, it is nice. We have an RV garage at our house, and we actually don't have an RV right now. We sold it a few years ago, but it is nice having that extra space. Real tall. I think our ceilings are 16 foot. They're not all the same, but I think ours is about 16 foot in our house. And it's just nice having that extra room. You can park the truck in there very comfortably without any issue. I think when we moved in, we had a 26-foot U-Haul truck and parked that thing right inside, all the way in to where the nose was past. You could have closed the garage door, and we still had plenty of room to walk around, plenty of room height-wise. It was pretty cool. I don't think I've definitely never have had a house that I could actually park a 26-foot RV U-Haul truck inside and drop the ramp and just unload. So pretty cool. So it's nice to have even if you don't have an RV. Okay, so driving down Star Road here. So we're going south from West Floating Feather. And we're going to be driving through these homes here. Been here for a little bit. I don't have the exact dates off the top of my head, but my guess is probably around 15 years-ish. That's when this place really started to get more developed from just being a farm town with just farms to having you know, some communities and everything. Probably 20 years ago-ish is when they kind of started really kind of developing. It wasn't very big, obviously. On the left-hand side, we have a new community that's just being started called Wilson's Landing. Just streets, no houses being built yet. I think a lot of these builders are just waiting a little bit. On the left-hand side, we have Star Elementary. The school just started here about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago-ish. So the kids are in school right now. And again, on the right-hand side, we have some either farmland or just open space behind. We had some animals that are in the winter time. You'll see sheep and goats and horses. Right now, they don't seem to be out all that often in the summer. We have a church here on the right, church coming up on the left. One thing that I really like about Idaho in general, not just Star or Meridian or anything. I haven't really spent a ton of time in Boise, if I'm being honest, just going in there for restaurants or for stores. I haven't really spent a ton of time going through neighborhoods in Boise. But the time that I have spent in Idaho in general, I've been really, really happy with the overall feel of community, with how friendly everybody is. One of the funny stories that I can remember from when we actually came to Idaho and started looking around, we were driving through neighborhoods and people were just kind of waving to us. You drive through and they were walking their dog down the street of their neighborhood, and they would just stop and wave to the cars they drove by. And I remember thinking to myself, this kind of reminds me of what it was like when I was a kid. You know, I grew up in a kind of a smaller town, and you know, everyone kind of knew each other or knew of each other, and even if you didn't know them, you waved and smiled and said hi. And it's been a while since I've experienced something like that before we moved to Idaho. Now that we've been here for a little while, it's so common now, but it's still appreciated every time I see it. Every time somebody waves to us or smiles and says hi or stops and talks to you, it's just it's such a different feeling than some other places. So, you know, without naming specific names, I'm sure you get the gist of what I'm saying. But that's one of the nice things I've noticed about living here, and it's one of the things that drew us to Idaho specifically, was the friendliness and just the feel of community that people have. So that's one reason why I really like living here, even right now. There's absolutely no regret from me personally moving here, and I haven't met too many people that moved here for those reasons and regret moving here at all after all this time. I don't think I've met any that actually have that exact experience of moving here because they wanted a sense of community and now they regret it, because there's just no regrets. So as you're driving down Star, this is a lot of older neighborhood type feel, a lot of older homes. Some of them have been remodeled, some of them, you know, there's a few houses that have been torn down and built new, but for the most part on this section here, as you can see on the left side and the right side, you have homes that have been here for a little while. They have acreage, and then this shopping center here, the village here is fairly new. They have a gym inside there, and they have a few stores and shops inside. And then so you'll come down here, and we're going to actually crest over the river. And so people come here to hang out in the summer. They can kind of sit and wade in the river water. Hot day. Today's about 100 degrees or so, so we'll probably see a few people here, although it is during the week, so you never know how busy it's going to be. And so this area here, I can take a little shot around and kind of show what this area looks like. This is a really cool spot to kind of hang out. Okay, so passing Ridley's on the right-hand side, and Ace and all that, then we're driving down behind it, and we're getting into the Heron River community. Now, this community, I really like this community. This community is not brand new, but it's fairly new. It's within a few years, and they are still building, I believe, phases in this community. And so this community has a very nice little water ponds here and there. Little, I wouldn't call them lakes, but they're more like little ponds. One on each side here as you're driving through here. A little fountain on the left. They have a nice little community center here on the right-hand side. They have tennis courts, and just really nice, well put together community. Very clean, very green and nice and lush. So, in my opinion, this is one of the nicer communities in Star, depending on what you're looking for. So as we're driving through Heron, they do have new homes here, as you can see from the sign there. So these homes are, it's hard to put a price tag on them because they're so different as far as each one, but I would say off the top of my head somewhere between the 700,000 and the million range, and of course that depends on the market. The market changes, but at this very moment that's roughly what we're looking at here. So just kind of cruising through just to show you kind of the general architecture of the homes. They're all fairly similar as far as how they're designed. Got a lake back there. Looks like we have an open lot here. Gives you an idea of some more homes here, kind of what they look like. These are a little bit different than the ones that we just drove through. This looks like this is the newer phase here. Just kind of finishing up these homes here on this side. So probably in the next couple months, looks like this one's already sold. So maybe they pre-sold it from a while ago, or maybe it just sold, I'm not sure. We have an available lot here. So this side looks like it's just being finished and worked through. So and then these are just haven't even been built yet. So this is kind of the brand new phase that's just being started or waiting for the builder to start. It looks like there's a combination of one-story homes and two-story homes. We have a friend that lives in here that has a 3,500 square foot one-story with a decent sized lot. So there's a combination of a little bit of everything in here. I've seen a little bit of everything in this community, but a lot of one-story homes, as I've seen, kind of like Pristine Springs. A lot of one-story homes, maybe a few two-story homes here and there. And then this is like a little river over here, a little lake, I should say, right off to the side, part of the community. Some homes on the water here. So if you're looking for a home on waterfront, these ones are just being built right now as of August of 2022. Some people looking at homes here. Look like they're fairly new. Again, a little bit different style as I'm noticing with some of these homes. A lot of RV garages. Looks like maybe 50-60% are RV garages. And these ones on the right all have waterfront views. And then there's a lake down there at the end as well. I'm not sure if that connects. I haven't looked all the way down. Probably does. Looks like it's pretty close to the other one. This street's going to continue on the right-hand side. that's kind of a view of Heron River. Heron River's pretty big. I don't want to drive you through this whole entire neighborhood street by street, but you get the general idea of what it looks like here. Kind of unusual brown fences too. You don't see that a whole lot in Star or Meridian for that matter. So it's kind of a nice little different touch that sets this neighborhood apart from some of the other neighborhoods that I've seen in Meridian and Star and Nampa, for instance. So. Hey guys, so we just got done showing you around Star, Idaho, and showing you a little bit of what they have to offer in Star. So hopefully it informed you a little bit, kind of helped you see what it looks like to be on the ground versus just looking at a map or looking at pictures. Get an idea of what it's like to cruise around, get some aerial footage, some of the parks, that kind of thing. So if you have any questions, feel free to give us a call or email us or leave us a comment. Again, it's idahopulse.com if you have any direct questions for us. We hope to see you out here in Idaho. Have a great one.